Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody, with as much enthusiasm as possible, being that it is almost 6:30 in the a.m. over there at Friday, the very first day of September. I beg you, please don't overtrade today. Don't even trade. I'm definitely not trading. Don't overtrade if you are going to trade. We ended the month with a red day. Fantastic. Excellent. The spread finally worked. 45.20, 45.15 for the red close. You got a little bit better than 350 early in the morning. Late in the morning, same thing. We've just had three less than 30 point trade range days. Three. We had the algo day there on Tuesday, which caught everybody by surprise. We've been gapping up ever since we hit that bottom back on OPEX Friday over there on August 18th. And just from a chart view, I'll show you here, we are now up 197 points in these 2 weeks. 2 weeks as of today, end of the day. Here's your OPEX, here's your move down, here's your move up. Very much, as I've said, looks like a very clean ABC. Don't overtrade today. Don't overtrade today. Don't even trade if you don't have to do this. Leave it alone. This is your VIX, okay? Your VIX is what controls your pricing on your options. When you are down here in this level below 14, it is very, very difficult to get a decent credit for the risk that you're taking on SPY, SPX, even QQQ credit, unless you are right at the price action, literally at it in the money, anticipating that it's going to go in the opposite direction. And the reason why I've got you on a zoomed out chart here is I want to bring into very, very clear attention. This is your drop off since May. This was actually right when NVIDIA reported their earnings. We were up at 2102 almost. And then NVIDIA reported their earnings, and that was when the AI bug really kicked off, and we had that explosive June. So I'm only highlighting you to here. This going back to the Friday prior to the FOMC meeting, which was in June. These red highlights, all right? This one's in gray. Red. Continue scrolling. Red. Very fractional, but red. And I want you to pay attention to this 1339 as well, okay? This 1339 is significant while we're down here. Another red. Here is another blocked out red. That is where we have a fractional gap that still has not filled, even though we almost came to 1339 last night. Here is your big green, and this big green occurred on August 4th. We're going to get to that in a minute. Here is your red, here is your red, here is your red, and here we are. What these are is showing you how on Fridays, the VIX gets crushed. It has been a very long-lasting tradition during this algorithm that we're still trading in since the invention of AI, since we fell out significantly from that 1721 area. The VIX gets crushed on Fridays. Being that we are down here at 1339, I have absolutely no idea how you are going to break that 1339. Here you go. Pressure onto the lows of the year, which isn't too difficult, but even though it is right there at 1273, but literally pressure the 5-year lows from way back here in the early part of 2019 down at 1103. So again, we are full mooned. We did that. Now we are going into the 3-day weekend. We know that. And here we have it where you have a big gap from August 1st over here on the QQQ, right up here, 383, 379. Big gap up there to be filled. Same thing over here on SPY, August 2nd. You're looking here at 453.50 to 456.50. You have that on your SPX as well. And here's your SPX as I've charted, which I'm looking at as my most likely high probability, throwing everything in this together view that I'm continuing to watch, which I'll cover in detail over the weekend. But I'll bring you over onto our regular trading, and this is what you're looking at here. That big gap over on SPX, which is 45.77, 45.51. So be generously cautious considering the fact that the VIX gets crushed on Fridays. There is a strong probability, the jobs report, the 3-day weekend, that you are going to put some pressure on that as you go into the trading day. Over here on the futures, looking here at my 1 hours, and what I'm seeing over here on the NQ is the Pac-Man formation on my Keltners. Seeing it here as well, almost on the ES, very much over here on the Russell. I call it the Pac-Man formation because that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like Pac-Man. And when it makes those formations where the top Keltner and the bottom Keltner are literally pointing at one another, a major move occurs. The majority of the time, that move is to the upside. So being that I am on this, I am going to zoom out because I'm only looking for one thing in particular. That's it. And I want to bring that to your attention because we've done it on the indexes. This is your QQQ 4 hour after the sell down that it did yesterday. Overbought, up to overbought, sell divergence, sell down. That was your 4 hour on your YM, the YM being the Dow futures. These are the NASDAQ futures. You had your big move over here going into, what day was this? August 29th. And here we have a lower high, again, up above the warning levels of being overbought. Here is the ES. Major sell divergence on the 4 hour. Doesn't matter. And here's your Russell futures. Big overbought over here on August 29th on Algo Day. And here you have, again, higher highs, lower highs on your RSI. Big RSI being the 4 hour. You have some big sell divergences that are here. From a power point of view, like we've been saying since going back a week ago, where we were expecting to get a move up, we were expecting to get a green week last week. We are still 100% in the power of the bulls. The bulls have complete and total control, and you just had your full moon over there on Wednesday, Thursday, because it fell like 6 o'clock in the morning. So today is going to be your last session after that. So again, let it go. Don't overtrade. And more importantly about don't overtrading, come over here on the QQQ, which again, closed green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green closes in a row. Your range yesterday was less than 3 points, which is very irregular for the QQQ. But again, QQQ, big gap up above from early August. Leave it for what it is. Do what you want to do. Friday is here. Have a fantastic weekend. We had an amazing month of August. We virtually called that bottom with how we hit on everything. Caught the green week, caught the bounce, caught the drop down off of that bounce. It was the biggest day a week ago today that video I put out was enthusiasm and euphoria multiplied together. Now that we're up here, having had that algo day on Tuesday, and we finished the month down 1% on the QQQ, right? You had a 8.5% drop, and we finished the month down 1.13%, down 4 points. Over here on the SPX, we finished down 1.5%, having had a 5.9% dip. So again, have a beautiful weekend. Don't overtrade. Don't overtrade. If you don't even need to trade, don't trade today. Leave it alone. It's a 3-day weekend. Go touch the grass. Go smell the fucking butterfly farts. But whatever you do something just out of nowhere. Go put a smile on somebody's face. Have an amazing weekend. I am around all weekend. One-on-one calls, charts, technicals, spreadsheets. If you want to discuss the Glacier IPO, contact me. I'm available all weekend long. I'll speak to you soon.